Oh my God, I am so nervous. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Standing Tall podcast. And I know, it's been a minute. It's been forever. And I just want to say I am so sorry for letting the podcast collect some serious dust. But I just want to talk about some stuff with you guys in this episode. But basically, I have my notes here and I just want to be completely honest. The reason why I haven't been posting on the podcast is honestly because I have been feeling so uninspired. I couldn't figure out what else to do with it. I mean, I know there's so many more topics that we can talk about in terms of modeling and our other areas related to it, but I also wanted to do more solo episodes, and this is the type of episodes that I see other people do that I completely love, and I want to do them. I want to share more about my life, open up to you guys more, and I really want to connect with you a lot more. So I kept telling myself, you can do it, obviously, but at the same time, I try to do it a couple times and I had maybe like one topic and then I tried to record it, and kid you not, the whole episode was like 3 minutes long. I couldn't just talk to the camera for a long time. I think I got so used to having another guest and then, having a full conversation with another person, and that was really messing with me, I guess. But again, every single time I saw someone else's podcast, another episode, and they were talking about, regular stuff, I always imagined myself doing the same thing. And I always thought that is so cool. Like, I want to do that. Like, why am I not doing that? Like, I have the whole podcast. I have the whole setup. I have the microphone. I have the experience. Why am I not doing it? And at the end of the day, it all comes down to if you don't plan, you plan to fail, which is basically you don't get anything done. So basically how I want to open up this episode to you guys is that let's call this season 2 of the Standing Tall podcast, because we're going to try some things differently this time. We're going to experiment. We're going to see what works, what doesn't work. And I need your help. I need you to tell me if you like the way things are going, or if you want to see something different, or if there's a segment I did that you want me to expand more on. I would love to do it. Basically, I want this podcast to not just be super hyper focused on modeling. I think Standing Tall, yes, that's the name of the podcast because it reference to being short in the modeling industry and standing tall. And then, we have other guests in the podcast that are not necessarily on the shorter side, but they have other things that they have to battle with in the modeling industry and stand tall and in order to be able to succeed. But, standing tall is not just about that. It's also in any other aspect of your life. And I think there's so many things that I find interesting that I think other people might find interesting as well, and things I've learned and I want to share. So I think this is the perfect space for me to expand more, be more vulnerable with you, and, have some fun, have a little bit more fun. So today I'm going to be talking about things I wish I knew before getting into modeling, confidence through plastic surgery, going through a breakup and dating again, my new secret of how I got a little leaner, spoiler alert, it has to do with the Oura Ring, and a few other things. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, first thing I want to start with, and it's the reason why we're having a podcast today, is how life-changing it is to learn how to plan your day, your goals, your week, your month, your quarter. And for some of you, this is obviously obvious because I guess it's an obvious thing. But for many, including myself, I didn't really grew up with that mentality. Like, I remember growing up in my school, we had a planner, and that's where you wrote down your homework and stuff. But I wasn't the greatest with that. But anyways, I never really truly learned how to manage my day, how to manage my goals and everything. Like, I'm so grateful that I have been able to achieve so many things in my life, but at the same time, it has been full with a lot of anxiety, a lot of unable to prioritize things, a lot of that feeling that you're running all around like a chicken without a head. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but it has happened to me so many times that you start a task and literally you're in the middle of it and you're about to get up and pick something up. And then when you are about to do that, then you see something else that you're supposed to be doing that you forgot about, that you just thought like, oh, I should just do this because I'm right here, right now. So you drop whatever you were doing before, you pick up that new thing, and then you kind of do it, and then you're in the middle of doing it, and then you go somewhere else in the room, and then you find something else that you forgot about, or somebody texts you, and then you're like, oh, like, let me just do this right now because if not, I'm gonna forget. So it just keeps happening, and then there's this anxiety of like, oh, I have this that I didn't finish, and this is halfway done, and then I have to do this other thing. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I finally finished taking this course that I didn't even finish doing it. Like I started taking it over a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe. And, I was kind of like getting it. And then I just didn't finish it. I didn't prioritize it. And I kind of like understood some things of the system that they were teaching. And it kind of helped me because I did start scheduling my day-to-day, but not every single day. Like whenever I kind of remember that was a thing that helps me, because it does help me a lot. Whenever I realize that whenever I schedule my day and I schedule my task, my anxiety will be a lot less and I will get a lot more done. And I felt a lot better after the day was over because I actually felt like I was ticking off stuff and actually getting things done. So anyways, I kind of like was doing that, but then this year started and I really thought to myself, no, I really need to get better at planning, at scheduling, at being productive, because there's so many things that I can do. I see people doing them. Why can't I do them? Including this podcast. Like, why can't I just do it? So I finished the course and I'm finally getting in the whole habit of scheduling every single day. I schedule it the night before and it has been a game changer. The system that I learned is very interesting. Like I don't know if this is like a common thing. I don't know how it is, honestly. It's the first time I ever learned about this, but there's blocking times and it's really nice. Honestly, it's really nice. Basically, what I'm trying to like share here is that if you feel the way I was feeling before and you want to get things done, I highly recommend you take a course on productivity and planning, so you don't feel like you're running around like a chicken without a head. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And again, the proof that this works is that I am actually doing that podcast episode right now. It was a lot of planning on my part, but it's happening. So that's just like what I wanted to share. But anyways, let's move on to the lessons I learned in modeling. So there has been so many things I've learned throughout my career, and there are many, many things that I wish other people knew, and I wish my younger self knew. So one of the things is that I learned is that it's completely not normal to go through slow seasons. And just as a rule of thumb for myself, I don't know how other people are, but in my personal career for so many years, it has happened year after year. So I'm so used to it, which is days before and days after a holiday, it's so slow. It's so dead. Like I barely, if anything, get any type of castings. But in terms of actually jobs, it's not, is rarely happens, but I'm really not expecting anything. So think 4th of July, Labor Day, and don't get me started on Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Basically, December, January is so slow every year after year after year. And if I do book something, it's usually more like a surprise than something that I was like hoping or expecting. So that's just me like sharing that insight about my career personally. I don't know how other models deal with holiday season, but that's literally how it's been my entire career. And besides that, there's also slow times that I think are more personal to each model. But again, this is just me saying that it's completely normal It happens. It happens even to supermodels. So even though I'm saying this, I literally was just like voice messaging one of my model friends talking about like how slow it's been and how it does make me a little worried. But this is just me sharing that it's okay. But at the same time saying like, even though I share this stuff, that doesn't mean that I'm immune to not feeling stressed or worried about a slow season. Basically, that's what I'm saying. But honestly, looking back at the 1,000 times that I've felt stressed about my career and the jobs that I'm booking and stuff like that, I never had to be stressed. You know, everything worked out at the end. Everything has been working out at the end. So also that's another kind of like a lesson there. But anyways, let's move on to the other thing that I wish I knew when I started modeling. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this. I used to be so strict about being perfect with modeling all the time that if I made a little human mistake, or even if it wasn't completely my mistake, I will feel so bad and I would get so anxious and scared that I was gonna get blacklisted or I was gonna get my agents mad, stuff like that. So I basically but I want to share the story so to help you like understand. So what I've understood during this time is that agents and the people that you work with are so chill. They're humans too. It's not like that. And if you do have an agency or a client that, you know, makes you feel bad about things and it's gonna blacklist you or something for like a simple human mistake, then you're honestly better off without them, because if you're surrounded with good people, you know, they're so chill. So basically the story, I think I've shared it on my YouTube channel years ago, but this happened years ago and I got an email from one of my agents saying that if I was available for a shoot, and I said yes. And time went by, I didn't hear anything. And in modeling, if the client is really like looking to book you, like you're on the short list or you're really actually being considered for a job, you get asked to be on hold. So you're holding the date. So in this case, I got asked if I was available. I said yes, and then I didn't hear anything back. So I didn't get any type of email saying you're hold, like please hold this day, like nothing like that. So the time passed by, hear nothing. And in this industry is so common that if you don't get a job, especially if you're not even considered in that list, then you're never gonna hear back if you actually got the job or not. You literally just have to assume like, oh, I didn't hear back anything, I didn't get it. So days passed by, I didn't hear anything. So I'm thinking, okay, let me just book another job. So I submitted to another job. I ended up getting, it was for the exact same date of this like other job. And, you know, I was ready to go to this job, whatever, like day before. And literally the day before in the afternoon, like it was 4 p.m. maybe, I get an email from my agent saying, hey, you booked the job. And I was so shocked. I was so anxious. My anxiety was sky high at this moment. I felt like the right thing to do was to keep the job that I had already confirmed, which was like the new job without my agent. And I felt so bad to tell my agent like, hey, I didn't really hear anything. So I have another job. And my mind went to, I'm going to get blacklisted. You know, they're gonna hate me forever. They're not gonna want me to give me another job. And let's not even talk about like the actual client. They wanted to book me and now I'm not available. And I was just thinking these horrible things about myself and my career and everything. So anyways, I ended up doing this job. And by the way, this job, the one that I got myself, paid like a third less than, is that how you say it? For a third of the other job that my agent had booked me. So I was even getting paid less money, but I just thought that was the right thing to do at the moment because I had already, you know, given my word that I was going to do this other job. So anyways, I feel horrible for a long time. I can't remember how long passed. I think it's maybe a few months passed by. And then the same agent emails me that the same client wants to book me for another shoot and the pay is higher, the rate is higher. So to me, that goes to show that I didn't need to be that anxious. I didn't need to be that worried. Things happen. There's no bad blood. And even the client is like, we want to work with you. And by the way, that client, I work even with them again later on as well. So, things happen. So this is just my way of telling you, if you are like that, like, it's okay. Things can happen. Little mistakes can happen here and there. And if you're surrounded with good people, good agents, at the end of the day, they understand that, everyone's human and things can happen. So that's just, a little anecdote that I wanted to share. And then the other thing that I also wanted to share is that I talked about this many times on my other social media platforms. Pretty sure I've talked about this on the podcast as well, that a no today doesn't mean a no tomorrow. This has been proven in my career time and time again. There have been so many times that I wanted to book a job with a specific client and I did the castings and again, and I never ended up booking the job. And finally, one day they said, yes, I booked the job. I did the shoot and everything. So that's one example. There's like other examples with, for example, an agency I wanted to be with since 2016. I tried many, many times. I did the interviews. I talked to the agents and everything, and they never ended up giving me a contract, offering me a contract. And finally, in 2023, I got offered a contract. So this just goes to show that you just have to keep trying. And I know it's annoying sometimes, and I know that it feels very defeating. Believe me, I've been there a gazillion times. But if you just allow that one no at that one time to stop your entire career, stop your entire dreams, then you will never get anywhere that you want to be, because it really does take a lot of knocking on someone's door before they open, and it's completely normal and it's completely fine. So I just wanted to share that. Then the other thing that I don't think I ever share in any of my social media platforms, correct me if I'm wrong if I ever did share this, but I attended Coco Rocha model camp a while ago. I think it was 2-3 years ago maybe. And one of my biggest questions that I wanted to ask is, when is there a best time to apply to agencies? And if there is, when is that time? And I got told that the best times to apply is March through April and October through November. And the worst time is near Fashion Week and the holiday months. So that means August to September and December to January and July to August. So this doesn't mean that if you apply in any of these other times, like, you're not going to hear back from an agency, you're not going to get signed. Like, that's not what it means. It's just saying that this is just the best time, more like a rule of thumb. And I do believe for sure that it's not super worth. You can try, obviously. Again, honestly, why not? But I don't think it's super, super worth. I'll be super, super stressed about applying during Fashion Week, because I know for that time, agents are running wild with all the castings and getting all the models ready for Fashion Week. And then the holiday months, especially, I would say, December to January, because, so many people, if you have a 9 to 5, I think so many people know that a lot of people are pretty much checked out in December and they're barely getting started in January. So I think that's a really good rule of thumb to go by, but do whatever works for you. All right. The other little segment, the other little topic that I wanted to discuss on here that I don't think I've actually expanded on this on social media is gaining confidence through plastic surgery. And I think for some of you, it's going to be like, duh, obviously, like, you did this or that, whatever. But I've been if you guys don't know, I've been pretty open about getting my boobs done and my nose done. And I share the experience and everything. But what I want to share basically is that I am actually very, very shocked. I actually did not expect this at all. The amount of boost in confidence and self-esteem, I guess, from this getting like this work done. I really did not think it would really make me feel the way that I feel right now. I really do feel like I stand tall, a lot more tall now than before. Like I worked a lot, obviously, before the surgery. I worked a lot on my confidence and my self-esteem, and I think I was in a really good place mentally. I really didn't do it from an area of insecurity or from hating the way I looked, but I I knew I was gonna feel better, and I'm just shocked, honestly. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe for some of you it's like, obviously, Andrea, like whatever, but I really genuinely did not think that the boost in confidence was actually going to be this big. So basically, this is not me saying you need plastic surgery or anything like that. This is basically just me sharing more maybe for some of you that have been thinking about plastic surgery, have been working on yourself, have been working on your confidence, and there's just one thing that you have that you feel like it's like blocking your growth, your confidence, because it can really save you so much mental trouble, I think. But at the end of the day, again, I do think you need to work a lot on yourself and your confidence, go to therapy, find the reason why certain things might be triggering you about your physical appearance. I think all that work needs to be done. But, just sharing like, hey, I feel great. So that was just like a little thing that I wanted to share. All right. So the juicy part. So I recently became single. The tea. I can't believe I'm sharing this, by the way. Like, my dad is an avid, I'm not sure if that's even the word, the avid listener of the podcast and everything I post. So this is I'm a little nervous to share about this. Maybe I'll tell him to skip this part. I mean, I'm not sharing anything crazy, but yeah, so this is one of the things I love to listen on other people's podcasts, talk about breakups and dating and things like that. I love seeing the get ready with me for a first date, or the debriefing of someone's date, or insights on dating. I think that's like super, super interesting topic. So that's why I wanted to share with you guys about it. So anyway, I don't have a lot to share about the breakup, only that we were together. It was like a little bit over 2 years, and it ended over the summer. And, I took time for myself. I'm fine. And I decided to start dating again, going on dates. I got on the apps. And it has been interesting. Honestly, it has been very, very interesting. I'm going into these dates with a different mindset, different insights. And yeah, it's been interesting. I think that a lot of people give dating apps, especially dating in New York City, a really bad rep. I think it's my opinion that a lot has to do with the vetting process. Who are you swiping right to? And I think a lot of times, just through a little bit of exchange in messages, you can tell someone's intentions. So that's just, my opinion. But again, this has been a learning process for me. Like, this is not me saying I know everything, whatever. But the things guy will say to get what they want, it's so funny to me now. And it's just like love bombing at its finest. And I'm really glad that this term has become a lot more popular and a lot more people are finding out about it. But it's just so crazy. Like, sometimes I laugh and other times I just want to scream about the things that I've been told on these dates. First, just to give you an example, I went on a date, one date, it was first date with this guy, and it was fine. What happened? Yeah, had already like sniffed a couple of red flags on the first date. We were texting after the date, whatever, and he told me that he had deleted all of the dating apps already, and he wanted to only focus on me. I I was just like, I really just want to see what he says. So I just said, why? I can't remember exactly what he told me. I think something about like, honestly, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I ended up blocking him because he just annoyed me. And I'm really not a man hater by any means. I have a great relationship with my dad. I love my dad, but sometimes I see the memes, I see the jokes, and they made me laugh so much. I want to share with you guys, if you saw them, if you have TikTok, I took a screenshot of it, and it's hilarious. I sometimes I think about it and I just laugh. Dudes be named Max but do the minimum. Dudes be named Bill but never pay. Dudes be named Chase and then ghost you. Dudes be named Will but won't. Dudes be named Phil but leave your cup empty. I thought this was so funny. Dudes be named Miles but don't even travel the distance. I don't know. I thought it was funny. And then the other one that I thought was completely hilarious that I think about a lot is men are so hot. I wish they were good people. Again, it's just jokes, okay? There's probably very good men out there, which I believe that they are. Oh yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about this in subject is that I like the algorithm on TikTok is so great. As soon as I got in the dating space, I started getting this dating advice from this like couple guys, and they teach you basically how guys think in terms of dating, and it has been so spot on, the things that they say, that I'm gonna, if I find their profiles, because I don't know why the algorithm is so good, so I know I'm gonna keep finding their videos, but I didn't actually give them a follow. I think one of them is called Nico, and the other one I can't remember his name. It's like Daddy Academy maybe, I think, but I'm just gonna pull it up on the screen if I find their profiles. But anyways, they give insane insights, and I actually tested some of the things that they said in real life, and it comes out to be true, which is so crazy. So maybe just give them a follow, check out their videos. I think they're worth a look. All right. The next and last segment of this episode is, how did I get a little leaner, more active? Basically, I want to talk about the Oura Ring. Is it worth it? So first of all, I want to start with the cons. We're going to do pros and cons. The cons is that the ring, the one that I purchased, I believe was $500, and there's different finishes of the ring. There's black, there's silver, there's gold, there's rose gold, and depending on the finish, it gets a lot more pricier. So I think the rose gold is the priciest one, and I think the gold is right below that. And the only complaint I have, could be wrong, I don't know, is that the gold ring is actually not made out of gold. There's no gold in it. It's plastic, and I think titanium is the metal that they use for the ring. And that's it. So my only complaint is like, why each finish, like depending on the finish, why is it like more expensive? That's just like my question. The other complaint that I had, but there's a solution to it, I guess, is that if you use a ring to lift weights, which is one of my favorite workouts to do, you're going to get it scratched. So you're paying $500 for this ring. You hopefully will be use it for a very long time. And if you do use it for a very long time and you do use it for the gym, it's going to get so scratched after a few months or something. So I thought that was a little annoying because I didn't realize that until I actually got the ring. And then I was thinking like, what am I going to do? I decided to still use the ring when I lift weights, and I try to be, switch the side of the ring if I'm just doing one side first and the other one side later. I don't know. I was just trying to do things with it. And then I realized I have these grips. They're called Versa grips that they help you with lifting. And honestly, the actual just grips by themselves, they're great. I completely forgot I have them, and they actually help you a lot with lifting and your wrists, whatever. But anyways, these grips, they protect the ring. So I was like, oh, okay, like I guess I can remove my complaint. And the other thing too is that on Amazon, they sell this like rubber things that you can put on top of the ring. So it covers it while you're lifting weights and you don't scratch it. So those are the cons that I had at the moment. And then we go with the pros. So there's so many pros about this ring. So many pros. Like I love this ring so much. And, I think most of you probably know that it tracks your sleep, it tracks your stress. It does the normal things about tracking your steps. And one of the things I find really, really cool that I don't know if any other device does the same thing is that it's really smart in knowing what activity you're doing. So if I'm running, it knows that I'm running. If I'm walking, it knows that I'm walking. If I'm doing housework, it knows that I'm doing housework. If I am doing my hip hop dance classes, it knows that I'm dancing. So it's so crazy because I don't have to actually log in the type of activity that I was doing. It already knows that I was doing this activity. So that's another big pro that I have with the ring. And like I said, it also like knows, they kind of like has this new thing where it can sense if something is off with your health. It doesn't I don't think it actually tells you what it is, but it kind of like with all of the metrics and things that it's, counting, it kind of senses that there's something off. And actually, like it did, like the new feature came out and it was telling me that it was sensing something off, and I actually did have something, and I got medicine, whatever, and then it was fine. But the number one reason probably that I am in love with this, and honestly, again, I think any other device similar to this, maybe even cheaper than this, can do the same thing, probably does the same thing. But the reason why I love it so much, it goes hand in hand, is that the ring, I can wear it anytime, like any occasion. It can be a fancy dinner, or it can be lifting weights at the gym, or it can be going on a boat trip and going into the ocean. Like any activity, it goes well versus other type of devices. Maybe for a fancy dinner, you might not be able to wear it, and I want to be able to track everything. I want to know what I did the entire day. So anyways, the reason why I love it so much, and what happened is that I got the ring, and immediately after I went on this trip to the Middle East. It was 3 weeks. And during that trip, I did not work out a single day. I ate everything that I wanted. And when I say that, I would just want to preface by saying that I have a really good relationship with food. And I can do another episode about this too, like how did I develop it? But I have a really good relationship with food. When I say I eat whatever I want, it's not that. Don't imagine that I was eating pizza every single day or eating dessert every single day. Like that's not how it works for me. It's just that I don't have any restrictions. I don't go overboard with any type of food. And I really do feel generally that I'm eating whatever I want. And a lot of those things that I want and I'm craving is healthy things. So kind of just like a context there. But again, I was eating whatever I wanted. Like I was still eating dessert. I was still eating pizza. I was still eating whatever, it was a trip. We were having fun. So anyways, I did not work out a single day. I was eating whatever I wanted. And I realized that I got a little leaner. And I was like, I've been trying to get a little leaner for a while. But again, I worked really hard to fix my relationship with food. So I didn't want to cut any type of amounts of food that I was eating. I didn't want to add more workouts to my day. I didn't want to go out of my way to do like getting that type of mindset basically of I have to get leaner and I have to do this and I have to work out more. Like I'm not in the space that I wanted to do that. So I didn't do it. But anyways, this happened. You know, I got a little leaner. And I know I did. I'm not making it up, because when I came back, my stepmom was like, "Hey, did you lose weight?" Or or she said like, "You lost weight," or something like that. So I know that I wasn't making it up. But anyways, what I realized is that all I did every single day was walk. You know, we did activities every single day, and the majority of those activities were walking. We were walking. So I saw how many calories I was burning so that's the other thing that I love is like, and that's what my favorite thing that I like to look. I know not a lot of people like to see calories or count calories, but to me, it really gives me a good sense of how much I move my body, because I realized that when I stay all day in my apartment, for example, and I'm working on the computer, maybe I'm making a couple of videos, whatever, but I didn't go to a gym, I didn't go on a walk, didn't do anything. The amount of calories that I burn from activity based is literally nothing. It's like 50 calories. It's crazy. And then I realized that when the days that I don't, exact same thing, like I didn't do anything, I barely just went to the gym, I still didn't burn that many calories. But if that same day I have to run an errand, so I had to walk 10 minutes somewhere, 10 minutes back, and then that same day I had to clean my bathroom, and then I went to the gym, it just really goes really high. And I'm just like thinking, oh my God, all I need to do is just be more active in my day-to-day life. Like, because I'm not going to be walking every single day, but I can be active every day. And I know around how many calories is a good active day now for me. So I have my goal every day of how many calories I want to burn. And it's just so easy. You know, I literally can go run an errand, or I know how much time to spend on the gym, because if I do this amount of time, you know, I'll reach that goal. Or if that's how I choose, for example, if I'm going to be walking on the treadmill or I'm going to be running for the same amount of time. Or for example, I used to feel very guilty about not working out that much, because I don't go to the gym or do workouts, like actual workouts, every single day. Like I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. And it was really hard for me to get to do that again. So I felt guilty that I wasn't just going to the gym like 5, 6, 7 days a week. And now I don't feel that way, because I know that I'm being active. I know that I'm burning X amount of calories every single day. And I'm like, oh, today, like I'm just not going to go to the gym because I already burned 500 calories from just walking around with my friend, you know? So that's how I'm staying in shape as a lazy, active person. And that is my favorite thing about the ring. It's my favorite thing to see on the ring. And, you know, if anybody was wondering about my thoughts on the Oura Ring and what I think about it, this is it. I could maybe do a longer video about it, but I think I cover pretty much my favorites and my pros and cons about it. So anyways, this is the end of the episode. I'm going to see how long I talked for, about how long I talk for. And let me know, please let me know. I'm so nervous right now. Please let me know if you enjoyed the episode, if you found it helpful. Let me know if there's a segment that you enjoyed more. Let me know if there's a topic that you want me to cover in the next episode. I really want to do this episode that are more like chit chat between friends. You know, like I said, I want to connect more with you, and I want to do more opening up type of videos, because I love that type of content, and it's a type of content that I want to see. So if you guys enjoy it from me, let me know. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.